doing the Muppet smile because every time I try and take a snapshot, unless we're doing the wave, I always look like this. So I have to be more zoomogenic. Thank you for coming to Stone Soup Poetry tonight on the shortest of short notices for what I call the revenge of the last minute open mic. The open mic rises will be to be determined. Last minute open mic rises will be at a determined date in 2022. I am not perfect, but thanks to everyone who has risen out of the post-holiday blues, the post-holiday shambling walk after you're sheerly exhausted. And are lifting their chalices, their wine, their guitar necks, and are ready to tackle another night of open mic. This is our last hurrah, our last goodbye, our last take off, our last fuck you to 2021. And hopefully 2000, well, I'm just gonna say it now, 2022, you have to do better. And now you can, because the bar has never been so low. Thank you so much, and kick 2021 a little bit on your way in. So we are good to go. Hopefully Bill Lewis will be on. He was the one who kept on nagging me online to, I think you gotta start Stone Soup again. I just sent him the information. So if the son of a bitch doesn't come, we all get to point and laugh at him next week. Or should I say next year. So we're going to start with the open mic. And for those of you who are watching online, either through the live Facebook feed as we talk, or looking at the YouTube video, which is uploaded no later than 9 o'clock most Thursday mornings. Thank you and welcome. We got a year's worth of these in the bag. Check out all our other shows. I'm doing a 2021 retrospective, just a personal one on my blog. So I'm also going through choice shows and people who we've been able to introduce, other highlights of my life and highlights of Stone Soup. So I am looking forward to that, to finishing that up for this week. Hopefully some more announcements will be coming up. And Edward Gall sends his regards, and hopefully other people will join us a little late. That's probably why I'm doing the rambling, but let's, out of respect for the people who have joined us, in which case the first person coming up joined us and got kicked off twice at least. He's going to be our first person reading on the open mic. Let's give a warm welcome to, he's not on the phone, but he never shows his face because he's worried about losing his soul. Let's give it up for Miss Chris Fitzgerald. There you go.
Okay, so everyone can hear me.
Yes.
Saturday afternoon, after Christmas dinner, whatever, living room, relatives, in-laws, family, a niece says to me, Chris, recite some limericks. And I'm looking at her and I'm thinking, this is extremely talented. And she never heard me do limericks, but her boyfriend did like 5 years ago at Charlie's Tap. Not at Charlie's Tap, but at that furniture place and clothes place in Central Square. And this was I had 3 of them by memory, but I got all 5 of them now. And of course, I couldn't do them in front of that crowd because they'd probably give a heart attack, a couple of them, and they'd die. And plus, if they had laughed, there's some outrageously, mortal sin territory. So not only would I kill them, but they laughed. I send them to hell for committing a mortal sin by encouraging me. But whatever. All right, here they go. I sat by the Duchess at tea, and she asked, do you fart when you pee? I said with some wit, do you belch when you shit? And felt it was one up for me. There was a young harlot at Yale with a price list tattooed on her tail. In honor behind, for the sake of the blind, she had it embroidered in Braille. There was a young man named McNamara with a tool of prodigious diameter, but it wasn't the size, gave the girls a surprise, but his rhythm, iambic, pentameter. There was a young lady from Sydney who could take it right up to her kidney, but a man from Quebec shoved it up to her neck. He had a long one, now didn't he? And this is the last one. I always love this one. I love her in her evening gown. I love her in a nightie. When the moonlight flits between her tits, Jesus Christ Almighty. Thank you.
I can only follow that by reciting one of my favorite haikus from Patrick Shaughnessy. There once was a man from Nantucket whose dick was too big for haiku. I know, mind blown. This is why I don't try and do as many haikus. That's why I stick to American haikus, because how can you top that one? Up next on our esteemed open mic list, let's welcome up Miss Jan Rowe.
Go ahead.
Hi. I just wanted to say a word about Desmond Tutu, Archbishop, who died the other day. It turns out when I was 1 year old in 53, they made a rule that he couldn't be a teacher like his dad. The Bantus couldn't get educated. So he became an Anglican priest. He caused a lot of trouble for them people. They should let him be a teacher, huh? Also today, in the church calendar, about 800 years ago, Thomas A. Becket, murder in the cathedral. He had been close with Henry II, who kind of ordered his death. And it reminded me of Mohammed bin Salam and Khashoggi. Remember, they had been tight until disagreeing over Trump. And now he's Mohammed Bonesaw, isn't he? Okay, but I have this little piece that was in the weekly. It's called A Century Later. Recently, a private police group, yes, private as employed by a corporation, an oil corporation. Now that's Canada. We in the USA gave the oil corporations $181 billion. And that was down 40%. Things must be bad. So these private police were employed by this oil corporation. These oil corporations that will go to war if any country wants to keep their own oil. Well, anyway. So the private police group, they broke into a remote cabin to arrest a Canadian Native American tribal leader as the tribe blocked pipeline construction for dirty oil. So pipelines carrying this oil, they have emerged as a result of pictures of flaming train cars and towns being evacuated amid firing damage. I am reminded of the private coal and iron Pennsylvania police, who in 1920, a century ago, harassed my great uncle and his parents. Some say the crime rate in the state of New York went down when the thugs went to Pennsylvania to be private coal and iron police. So my great uncle and his parents met unexpectedly downtown, his sibling, their son, and they stopped to talk. So soon a coal and iron private cop in Jodhpurs on horseback told my ancestors to move along, break it up. Thank you.
Thank you, Jan. In addition to remembering people like Bishop Tutu, let's also bring up John Madden, who I thought died a long time ago. But John Madden of John Madden football fame. At least that's how we're going to know him now. Kids ask who John Madden was, and the fathers say, I don't know, I think he was an announcer. And now 10 years, they're going to say, who's John Madden? Beats the hell out of me. But even more importantly, for those who didn't notice from last week, from my blog or other postings, we lost Blaine Hubbell, the self-proclaimed Occupy poet or Occupoet. Blaine Hubbell was from the North Shore. He was a poet, activist, event host himself in Ipswich. and also the self-publisher of the Occupy poems. And later on, he founded Ring of Bone Press and published 2 anthologies, The Wild Women of Lynn and The Madmen of Lynn. He passed away, I believe, from a battle of cancer a couple of weekends ago. And one good thing that's come out of it is people are starting to post about his work. And I actually found footage from 2 features he did with Stone Soup in 2012 and 13. So hopefully that footage is going to come up by the end of this week. Hopefully no later than Friday. Blaine Hubbell did a lot for us, and his work is sadly unavailable on YouTube as much as he promoted others. I was very lax in getting his work out there. But then again, there's about a decade's worth of work that I still haven't gotten out there. So hopefully that'll change and more poets are going to be represented online, and Stone Soup's going to be represented online, and hopefully a tribute to Blaine. If we can ever dig ourselves out of this hell, hopefully there'll be a live one, just as I want there to be a live one for Bill Barnum. But more on that another time. Let's go to our actual phone participants. Let's go first to, if she can unmute herself, it's her turn to go, Miss Nancy Dodson. Nancy, if you can *6 yourself. There you go.
Ingredients. A temple bell sounds on and on for your soul's uneasiness and insecurity. Compress yourself into compassion, mercy, and empathy, and keep the spirit that may have decay or not.
Thank you so much, Nancy. Oh, someone's mentioning I have an echo. I think I know what that's coming from. Okay. So hopefully that echo is past or is slightly past. Okay, good. Should also recommend, or I'm recommending to myself, I never actually sought out the album, but Miles Davis actually did an album called Tutu in honor of Bishop Tutu. And so I need to look for that on YouTube and check it out. If I can, I should share that online. I think he did that shortly after he did the Sun City Benefit album, which was Artists Against Apartheid, banning the Sun City resort in South Africa for not allowing Blacks into their hotel, but only just having them as employees. Okay.
Oh, excuse me, just 1 minute. I forgot to say that I knew that fact that he couldn't get educated, so he had to go to the church, from Mumia Abu Jamal. And you know who he's in prison near where I grew up. It was first they were going to kill him, and now it's a life sentence. Remember Mumia Abu Jamal?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, that was it.
No worries. Thank you. And up next, besides, the less I talk, the better at these things. Who do we have next? Yes. Let's welcome up, all the way from New York, still hanging on, Miss Patricia Kerrigan.
Hi, okay. I'm going to read what was published in Oddball magazine. Thank you, guys. The war on Christmas. Hot off the presses. Burning down the Fox News tree ain't fake news. Fox News tree Yule log. Let it snow while chestnuts roast on an open fire. Yes, Virginia, there is a war on Christmas. Foxfire meets brimstone. Happy Christmas.
Boom. Thank you, Patricia. Up next, I'm going to mute her so we can get our MVP on the line, our most consistent presence here at the Zoom calls. Let's welcome up Miss Carol Weston, or as I'm going to start calling her now, Miss Carol Six Gun Weston.
What?
Carol Two Gun Weston. That's going to be my new nickname for you.
Okay, thanks. Okay, Carol, 3 Guns, Weston.
I like two
Okay,
gun. I like two gun. You carry a lot as it is, so two guns is probably better.
What?
I like two gun better. Carol, two gun, Weston.
I don't know what that means. I like
Okay.
3 Guns. Okay, now, I see. All right, okay. The meaning of Christmas is a light that falls among us from invisible places. Anyway, that's the only line I ever wrote that my brother-in-law could stand. Anyway, so he was from Yugoslavia and came down over the Alps, getting here, and became very important in the Orthodox Church. Okay, now I was going to read from my calendar. I don't usually do that, but I adore this calendar. It's the International Cycle of Celebrations Calendar 1987, and it knows everything. So so under the beautiful phoenix, beautiful drawing of the phoenix, come these words. This is the end of a cycle, a time to recall and synthesize what has gone before. It is also a time to look to the future with the faith that the year is yet to be. We are living at the end of a great age and the beginning of another. All will give way to renewal. The best of every culture will be retained in the new. The spirit of every tradition will be quickened and will break through the hard shell of rigid form in which it has been bound. This is the rebirth of the phoenix and the world. Let us empower the spirit that is coming to life in everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you very much. And now who do we have next? I think he knows, which is why he unmuted himself. Even in my randomized lists, I'm still predictable a little bit. So we're going to bring up the musical musings of our own Max Weinberg, our own musical accompaniment, our own one-man band, the Pulse of Stone Soup, and many other places. Let's bring up Mr. Ethan Mackler. Bravo, Mr. Mackler. Thank you so much. And that gives us a perfect segue for tonight's closer of the first round of this lovely round robin. We've had too many of these of all open mics, but hopefully we'll get the feature machine. We'll be getting back on the feature train sooner than you know. I hope you guys have a lot planned for your new year. I know you guys have been doing your best to keep busy, and probably the busiest out of all of us is someone who's had to be both translator and historian for his own family background. And he's been sharing parts of that journey through the open mic spots, and even a little bit through his column, It's All One Thing, which is every Thursday without fail at 11 o'clock. Catch his last column for 2021 tomorrow at 11. And let's welcome up Mr. James Van Loy.
Hi. So yeah, I've got a poem here about one of our trips to Europe, actually coming back. This is called "A Spectre is Haunting America / the World," or "Some Things Never Go Away." I come from almost 4 weeks outside the USA bubble of corporate media spin, and a specter is haunting the maze of vinyl strips on waist-high posts that makes us go back and forth across the great room just to spread out our number, so we won't stack up at the touchscreens, whose only real function seems to be to get us to commit again that we have no contraband, food, plants, or animals, and to record our pictures exhausted, sleep deprived, travel blasted for the security state. And somehow already between it all, the vinyl stripping and the surveillance cameras, there is a specter haunting America, indeed the world, right there in Logan Airport. Watergate is waiting. Yes, has been there all along, waiting, this third-rate burglary, as they used to say, a Band-Aid on the canker sore of the war crimes of Vietnam, the assassination of the Jim brothers, engineered by the CIA, with Henry Cabot Lodge as U.S. ambassador, so I remember the rhyme. Boston, land of beans and cod, where the Lowells speak only to Cabots and the Cabots speak only to God. That is the secret bombing of Laos in Cambodia. Agent Orange had chemical warfare, only you can end forest deforestation. The secret Phoenix program of torture and assassination, the Tiger Cage detentions, the sales of heroin to finance militia allies, the genocidal war on the little yellow people. And my platoon on Okinawa actually provided the radio teletype operators for the US secret operations in Laos. So one day, one guy just appeared on his once empty forever bunk, and the sergeants just left his sad PTSD ass alone in the morning when the rest of us went out to formation for report. And I came home knowing Richard Milhouse Nixon's secret plan to end the war would keep it going for many, many more years of tens of thousands of US deaths and millions of more dead little yellow people, while Nixon would spy on everyone and use the war to deploy the Internal Revenue Service and the FBI and the CIA against dissidents who were locked up by the war on drugs, an array of political dirty tricks deployed against protesting veterans for peace and activists like Black Panther Fred Hampton, author of the original Rainbow Coalition, as he tried to ally with Hispanic and other organizers, for which they assassinated him as he slept one night in Chicago. And the US attorney there, and the FBI, and the Chicago police who shot Fred in his sleep all got away with it because Watergate, you see, Watergate was just a third-rate burglary of the Democratic National Committee. And the free fire zones and the reconnaissance by fire and dropping a grenade in the hooch to make sure no one was left alive, but the bodies never stayed buried. And the blood keeps streaming deep from earth. And Watergate won't go away even now, because all the real crimes of Vietnam and its domestic suppression of the anti-war movement are drone strikes in 7 different countries, and Indonesian mass murderers, business partners of Agent Orangehead in the White House, the Nobel Peace Prize winners' war on whistleblowers still ongoing, and the woman who ran the torture site in Thailand is deputy director of the CIA, and the deputy attorney general who presided over the creation of the torture memos and the deployment of the Unpatriotic Act is fired as FBI head for being too independent. Although initially they pretend it was because he dropped the bomb on Hillary Clinton, whose smithereens must be there somewhere, spectral, adrift, haunting the netherworld between national borders. So there.
There.
I got that one. So we probably, are we going to do another round? Okay,
Sorry, yes, we are.
we'll leave it there.
And I think we just got joined by somebody else who either wants to watch or and listen or
Mr.
wants to
Whipple.
participate. Mr. Whipple. Say a couple of words.
Not Mr. Whipple.
Aha! My bad. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Would you care to read a little?
Sure. I have a couple things that I just pulled up. It's from my new chapbook that I'm being published through Dumpster Fire Press, called Psalm of the Psych Ward.
And,
I wrote it about.
and this is your
Okay.
first time with us. You came to us through the Dumpster Fire Press Facebook site?
Yes, I did. Mike and I are going to start a counterculture movement in Grand Rapids.
Very nice.
So that's what I've been doing is I've been messaging people like, do you want to do this? And they're like, yeah.
We'll keep us in the loop. Stone Soup is staying online for indefinitely due to the Omicron and too many people we know getting sick. So welcome to us and share some words. You're just about to close out. You're the new official closer of the first round of this round robin.
Look at me. Oh, goody. Okay.
It's like you
so-
get a little achievement badge, like a video game later. But anyway.
Sure. So my first poem that I'm reading, because I've got 3. The first one is called Universal We. Hope stashed on the rocks, it all falls down and I'm alone. But am I alone or am I expecting loneliness? The wheel turns and I turn with it. I dance to music only I can hear. The world crushes, but sometimes gently. There's a spark between us, a soul cry, and I sigh it away, my breath matching the clouds. My friends and I, we are living on our own native life in the wilds. We dance free and then live among the stars.
Nice.
My second one is Pretty People. Smile even though you're sad, be perky and they'll think you're all right. Every day is paradise. Your kingdom is where I reside. Living in the sunshine of summer, even though it's snowing out. Looking for that perfect sun on red evening. Pretty as a picture. Pretty as the face that finds you in the dark. Pretty as all the people who find you here and now. Each person you've ever known is here with you. With each breath, say goodbye as they go on their way.
Thank you, Ari. How about you save the third poem for the second round of the Robin? And more importantly, if you have any links you can share with us as far as like your countercultural movements, I'd love for you to share them in the chat.
I don't have anything to the counterculture movements yet,
Okay.
but I will share some of my work that I've got published so far.
Sounds great. And welcome to the soup.
Thank you.
And where are you residing again?
Muskegon, Michigan.
Very nice. Well, thank you so much. It's always good to have another state represented on here. We're primarily in Cambridge, Boston, and we last performed in Boston before the pandemic started. So but it's been good to link out to so many states. So the more the merrier. I don't think we've had too many people from the Midwest. So this is a double treat here.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So we look forward to seeing your links, and we'll go to we're going to start at the top of the round robin. So we're going to introduce you to everyone who's been coming here for a while. So without further ado on my part, we're going to, well, I'd love to show you his face, but he refuses to show his face. He's a ninja like that. His name is Chris Fitzgerald. He's been a regular here. So Chris, you're up next to start the second half of this show.
Okay. This is the second half of my Michelangelo piece. Michelangelo had more to do with the founding of America than Christopher Columbus. I have said before, language is about 100,000 years old. Attitude is 65,000 years old, not next Saturday, but the next. The sense of touch was never allowed to discover itself. Religious theories, political theories, group theories, enabling the group to move forward with a shared attitude, those were the ideas that shaped our sense of touch. Language never needed attitude. Attitude cannot exist without language. Still at this point, we'd rather hear parental combat stories, World War II, Vietnam, than listen to Mommy and Daddy and Your Original Star. This is one of my more interesting initial sense of touch stories. This isn't about putting my hand on a girl's breast. That's 1-2 years down the road. This is 12, 13, a rich sense of touch still being just a theory. Saturday afternoon, 1-2 o'clock, Saturday, September, October, I in 6th Street, South Boston, heading towards Gay, on and off the stairs of a brown 2-family house. For some reason, I have broken into describing what I'm going to do to this 12, 13-year-old girl once I get a close-off. I'm speaking to 5 or 6 of my friends, same age, can't remember what prompted this outburst, but I was in the groove. First off, I'll make sure to hang up her clothes neatly. I don't want a 12, 13-year-old girl going about town, bad mouthing me, oh, I had a great time with him, but I ended up with 2 wrinkled shirt sleeves. I won't see him again. I couldn't take that. Then I described how I was going to handle that body of hers. Never got pornographic. It was just playing off the great sense of being young and alive at the time. Her shoulders, her breasts, her thighs. 3-4 minutes in, boom. 4 or 5, 12, 13-year-old girls explode out of that brown house's hallway in hysterics. I guess they were coming out when they heard this nut speaking. They kept quiet as long as it was humanly possible. They'd never heard anyone speak like that before. They were laughing. My friends were laughing at me. They were neighborhood girls. I knew them all. I didn't apologize, didn't walk home. No one knew how to act, so you didn't. You just were yourself. The biggest laugher, my friends thought I liked her. The biggest laugher, her friends thought she liked me. So for the next year or two, whenever my friends who were there saw Lily walking by the corner or in a shared space, they would yell, Chris, Chris, there's Lily, Lily. Lily wants to know, is there anything new you want to do to that richly rewarding, nubile, supple, wondrous body of hers? Or is it same old, same old? My friends and I had a genius for criticism. When you stick a knife in someone's back, you twist it just enough to avoid a fatal wound so that when it heals in 3-4 weeks, you can do it again. Thank you.
Growing up. Thank you, Chris. Who's going to be next? Yes, we go to Miss Jan Rowe of Jan and Jim fame. Jan, you are now up. Oh, there you go.
Okay, am I on? So this is actually part 2 of what I read. It was turned in this week to the Flaxseed Writers Group every Tuesday, 9:30, Sprott Hall, Park Street, Episcopal Cathedral. Okay, this is called Private Police Part 2. So the private police then in December 2021 broke into a home and arrested the tribal leader of pipeline protesters. They then proceeded to burn the house and bulldoze the site. This is reminding of a site bulldozed in Syria, March 2019. About 70 women and children were accidentally killed by a drone, by a USA drone, and then they burned and bulldozed to cover up a war crime. One of our military called it a war crime. So Task Force 9 was responsible for this war crime and other war crimes. Task Force 9 is always reporting self-defense. Kyle Rittenhouse in Kenosha claimed self-defense. Crystal Kaiser in Kenosha was not allowed to claim self-defense. Crystal Kaiser killed her sex trafficker, who was arrested and released the same day she shot him. Thank you.
And now let's move to our next person, one of our telephone participants. Let's welcome up. If I sound like I'm being repetitive, we got a new person here, so I'm introducing her to all of you. So welcome back once again, Nancy Dodson. Press *6 and do your thing.
The dancing bear. The dancing bear slowly lifts his feet. The great giant dances to the bells. So beautiful is the bear's motion. Many electric shocks are needed, and the shocks last. Lots of shocks are needed for dancing. Bears are so big and strong they can kill. Look at his paws, so big and mighty. One claw hit, and you would be wounded. Perhaps you would be dead from the attack. The dancing bear is so magnificent, it never sits down. Yes, we love you in the distant view, you unhappy you.
Nancy Dodson. And now, coming back all the way from New York, let's re-welcome Patricia Kerrigan.
Hi. Okay, I'm going to read some holiday haiku inspired by Brooklyn and something I just wrote just now. Okay, haiku. Festive snowflakes dance, giant wooden soldiers guard gingerbread mansion. Kids' eyes as bright as Diker Heights Christmas lights. Brooklyn does Disney. Inflatable Santa keels over railing. Too much eggnog. Santa Kitty makes grumpy cat look angelic. And that's it for the haiku, and I'll give like this little brief thing I just wrote. My left hand, subservient to my right one, wants my attention. Its time is now. Let it rise. Thank you.
Thanks, Patricia. And now we're going to move to Carol, who wants to be called now. I called her Carol Two Gun Weston. Now she's Carol Three Guns Weston of the original spaghetti westerns. Carol Weston has actually been a longtime member of the Boston literary scene, the spoken word scene, and she has been on every call by phone, even when she was recovering from injuries when the pandemic first broke out in a basically a recovery place. Excuse me. So it's amazing to have her still here, still doing this, been our most consistent participant. Let's welcome up. Let me actually help to unmute you. There we go. Miss Carol Weston.
Hi, this is my poem about the hurricane of 1938. Oh, wind, I worship your whip against my skin, scarring. I live for the wind that lifts my body soaring. I came here thirsting for the wild wind to wake me out of sleeping. Give me the hurricane to haul in my arms, my body falling. I like the hugeness of the wind against the house, pulsing. I am 4 years old. Give me the lightning so I can see tall trees falling. And number 2 is what I can remember of it. The drum. I have to dance behind the giant drum, so no one can see me flinging my arms to catch the body of the sun. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. And now we're going to go to our musical interlude one more time with the man I call the pulse of Stone Soup, though he's really the pulse of many places all around Boston. So welcome up, Mr. Ethan Eckler. Thank you, Ethan. And now our second to last person in the second round robin of this night of all open mic, very last minute style. Let's bring them back. Another piece from Mr. James Van Looy. Check out his work at oddballmagazine.com tomorrow for his regular column. It's all one thing. That's oddballmagazine.com, and we're always taking work, especially timely stuff. We'd love to have you. And I'll remind our new person any new people who might be here to check out the Stone Soup Poetry Facebook group page, because we always paste news and submission calls from Oddball Magazine and other locations. We'd love to hear from you. All right, take it away, Mr. Van Looy.
Okay. All right, so I got another little poem here. This is a real short one to start off with. It's called, it's from we're making these Sunday creation walks downtown, where we just go around and meditatively sort of check out the neighborhood all around the downtown area there. And so I wrote this little haiku. The architecture of class structure towers above homeless streets. The architecture of class structure towers above homeless streets. And then I'm gonna try to do this little piece by this guy named Urbanus. It's called Jezus is geboren. It's in Dutch. heel long geladen for the all arrest to keer that had gemoten zien het was verschrikkelijk slecht weer. Long hier daar de bibberen in de koude kooie zaal en een kribbeke met een as en een ezel, dat was all. Daarboven in de loop kan je er sterke zien staan, dat als maar zet de fonkelen daar hing en weg weer zertje aan. Het heeft niet lang geduurd, of het was daar volle bank. Het creoolde van herders met dikke wollen frak. Jezus is geboren, halleluja, hallo. Jezus is geboren in een bakje vol met stro. Toen kwamen die drie koningen en zwarte en de witte. Ze vroegen of ze ook mochten komen babysitten. Ze schronken en robbelatten en een grote pot vernis. Een sladding met look en een aquarium en een vis. De zwaarte geef aan Jozef een paar vissen en een boor. En aan Jessica en Schalke en Broska en Ivor. Maria kreeg een zak cement met een grote roze strik. En een potlood en een gammeke. En de gammen kreeg een kijk. Jezus is geboren, yes. Halleluja, hallo. Jezus is geboren in een basket vol met stro. De Heilige Geest hing daar te schijnen aan het plafond met zijn blauwe tranings en zijn purpura plastron. Op dat moment zei Joseph, kijk, dat is hier mijn kleine, die maar neens en de neus, het is helemaal de mijne. De hele groot moest lachen, arme sukkelaar. De kleine is van mij, want hij was de ooievaar. Joseph geeft de kist en gooi maar op zijn gezicht. Toen zaten ze meteen zonder klonk en zonder licht. Ze bleven daar maar zwaien met hun visten in het round en lachen af de. And excuse me, I missed the chorus. So let me start with the chorus again. Joseph gave the geest and gooi mat op zijn gezicht. Toen zaten ze meteen zonder klonk en zonder licht. Jezus is geboren, halleluja, hallo. Jezus is geboren in een bakje vol met stro. Ze bleven daar maar zwaien met hun visten in het round. Den as en den ezel lagen nak op de ground. Toen kwamen God de Vader en sprak, dit is mijn son. Nu standen ze te kappen, nu zaten die daar schoon. Jezus kan met volken en die is beginnen zoeken. En rare van en fronten wist ook niet meer waar kroepen. Dat werd me daar een kermis, dat werd me daar een kloep. Toen viel er nog een nest in Engeland uit de lucht. Jezus is geboren, halleluja, hallo. Jezus is geboren in een bakje vol met stro. Jezus snapt his flesh met pappen overvlokken. En heft nog rap en verst, pistok aangetrokken. En zijn vrede op orde aan iedereen die dat wil. Toen weer alles kwam en alles werd weer stil. Hij had daar genak van en ging maar vandoor. En trok zijn aerial schief over zijn oor. Hij is gelijk een grote in zijn sportwagen gekropen. Al die dan mijn volken wil van weer hard moeten kropen. Jezus is geboren, halleluja, hallo. Jesus is geboren in a bakje full much straw. I'll have to try that again later. That's the first run through. And I think Chad might like it because the last verse basically says that Jesus is like a big guy in his sports wagon, and all of those who follow them will have a very cruel, hard way to go.
Very nice. Very nice.
And there's Bill Lewis. Holy moly, he showed.
I know. It's about time, Bill. Your turn will come. Until then, say hello to Ari Whipple, who is our the newest person to join the soup, just cold out of the blue from the Dumpster Fire Press Facebook group.
Really? That's where Ari came from? Oh, that is so cool, the dumpster fire. Oh, we are so happy to have you here. I'm just astounded.
Okay, that's enough. Okay, that's and Ari's gonna have her turn now. And then we'll go to Bill, who'll do his 2 round robin rounds in one, because he was the one who pestered me the most to get Stone Soup started. So I owe him that much. But first, Ari.
Okay, so my last poem that I have from my new chapbook, Psalm of the Psych Ward, is Elated. So here we go. Hit the ground running. It's like a ship that finds you elated with all the things you didn't do. But fear not, you'll get there in the end if you carry hope in your heart. It won't be forever, not by a long shot, but you'll be here for a while. Don't crash your spirit on the rocks. Let it float along the lake onto places far away, like you've always wanted, even in the dark place, even when you don't think you'll be okay. But you will, because time is the best healer. Thank you.
Thank you, Ari, and once again, welcome. Okay, now our final person, our surprise final person tonight is a shy man, but I think he'll find the courage to help close us out for Mr. 2021. Let's welcome up Bill.
Oh my goodness gracious. I'm so timid. I'm so nervous. I mean, oh gosh, I have never been here on like Stone Soup on Zoom the night before 2022. So I've never done this before, and I'm very nervous. And you can understand, you don't know what it's like being me. If you were me, you would be totally different. I mean, oh my goodness gracious. I was just at a political meeting with a whole bunch of people who were talking about homes for all, but it didn't include actual homeless people. It only included people who already had homes. They said, oh yes, those poor homeless people. They never actually did anything. And I was just ripping my hair out. I was screaming mad, going like, why does it never? And all they have is palabra. They just say, well, we are going to set them free, let them roam on their own. Why should we interfere with them? They should have freedom. And I mean, they closed down the terrible institutions, mental wards, because it was so unfair to keep them in the mental wards. And gee willikers, are they really that much better on the streets? So I was just kind of really pissed off at my representatives, just totally ignoring that there were people on the streets tonight. And anyway, I get excited. But after Christmas, I had little but to do, so I sat in a bathtub without suds. I should have done the suds. I do have the bath, but I didn't, alas. The bathtub poet sits alone with his thoughts in the steamy water to hide the smoky clouds of the world and smoking good and fine pot. The misty figures that emerge from his memory, dancing frogs and snakes and rats, all splashing happily in the water with him in the tub. It's fun to bathe with friends. It's fun to pop under the surface and then pop back up, and to find a friendly rodent sitting upon my head or my shoulder, or perhaps a snake rubbed how affectionately around my neck, smiling that he is with me. Oh. Both bathtub parties and the poet and friends. I love my creatures and they love me. We can play in the tub. We can be free. And then there are the ladies with whom I have shared a tub or two. Woo, and felt very close and that they cared. It's not like a rodent when she touches my hand or anywhere else. There's something that happens I don't understand. I've had many a puppy. that sit on my lap, but when a girl does it well, oh, holy crap. The bathtub poet sits alone with his thoughts of bathtubs and hot springs and girls who smoke pot. Ah, the glorious days of so long ago, the fun that we had that left us aglow, and now in the bathtub we each soak apart. We dream of our friends and love fills our heart. Yeah. So there's my bathtub poem. That's my bathtub poem. Imagine me with bubbles, just giant bubbles, like, what's her name? Yeah.
Oh, dear Lord. Oh, my. Thank you so much, Bill. You don't have one more to do? Do you want one more to do? Because you want to do 2 round robins in 1 round? You need more water?
Well, of course, I shall finish with a glorious poem. Okay, tune up your old ears. So I spent a number of years in Sweden. La 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 la. After just the lighting, there we go, glasses. Så skimrande var aldrig havet och stranden aldrig så befriande. Fälten, träden och ängarna aldrig så vackra och blommorna aldrig så ljuvligt doftande som när du gick vid min sida mot solnedgången, aftonen den underbara. Då dina lockar dolde mig för världen medan du dränkte alla mina sorger, älskling, i din första kyss. Never shone the sea so softly, nor the shoreline so open, nor fields and meadows so beautiful, and blossoms so perfumed in bloom, as when you walk by my side, darling, and hiding my face in your hair, you drown my sorrows with a kiss.
Thank you, Bill. So glad to get you on for the last open mic gathering of Stone Soup for 2021. I will do something uncharacteristic because we did get a couple more people on. Want to keep this going. I do a weekly series called Stone Soup Croutons. If you contribute to the open mic, you usually get tagged on a Friday where I take lines, blurbs, a single word, an impression, the exact opposite of what you said, and turn it into a pastiche poem, a word cento, some people call it. This one was from a couple of weeks ago. It was actually the last gathering we did before Christmas on the 15th. I called this one In the Christmas Wars, the Home Front is the War Front. Post-injured foot. Sorry, let me fix that. Sorry about that. This is I actually started this off because my mom actually broke her foot earlier this month. And for some reason I felt like starting with that, even though I totally went beyond that. Okay, in the Christmas Wars, the home front is the war front. Post-injured foot, mother's left shoe, like another relative called once a year. Dream gift, Barbie's Malibu dream house has been moved to make way for a new pipeline. You barely needed a warrant nowadays to destroy a home on short notice. No time to change the dolls out of their bikinis. You had your one life to live, babe, it's over now. Santas are dissenting, trading red coats for t-shirts, milk for an already bitter drink. A continuous line of cherry red scowls. The therapists are left to triage each other in the streets, dancing on corners for their own good. Soon, no one will be able to poke fun at Detroit. Detroit will be everywhere, all glass smashed into tears drained of empathy. Even the hard-boiled eventually go and get smashed. This morning, it's the return of the same summer mist that occupied our entire fall. America is the one poem we don't want to write. It is the food we stress eat, our last surviving oral tradition. Refugees one horse open away, take refuge in slightly different part of homeland. Hope eventual snow will cover sparking tracks. My apologies to the residents, to the people who know Detroit, but everyone, I mentioned Detroit because everyone pokes fun at Detroit no matter what.
I have family from Detroit.
I know, and I've had family who lived and worked in Detroit, and I never hear anything but bad things. But I'm sorry, you gotta give Detroit a break. There's Worcester, Massachusetts, for one thing. Anyway, okay, I won't badmouth.
I'm from Detroit, of course, Chad. Originally, I was born there, and so is my whole family. So, I mean, there's not much left of Detroit. All right?
I know.
Of what Detroit was. It's gone. Detroit is
They
gone.
tried, because half of my family, my mother's side, went to Detroit. Dearborn, Michigan.
I know.
Midwest.
Aretha Franklin, Smokey Robinson,
Of
Diana
course.
Ross. Those are all Detroit neighborhood people.
Unfortunately, so is Dennis Rodman. But anyway, or who else? Wasn't Gene Simmons from there too? Anyway, you gotta take the good with the bad. You gotta take the Aretha Franklins with the Insane Clown Posse.
They're trying to
All right.
bring it back, and
Simmons,
I hope they
Eugene
do.
Simmons.
They are fighting to get it back.
I
They should.
I kid. I'm from Bellingham, Massachusetts, so automatically all my jokes on other towns and locations are null and void. But thank you guys very much. I'm self-conscious because I've never mentioned Detroit with someone who's actually lives near Detroit. You know, like it's I'm just like, oh shit. Someone's got to tap, Ahmed now, my girlfriend's daughter's got to come down here and tap to me and say, Chad, we live in Mattapan. Okay. I'll shut up. But rage. Yes. But I can delete this part out so no one will ever know. No, I keep my location in general anyway. But all right, doxing motherfuckers, I don't care. All right, we gotta go. My self-deprecating has reached its nadir, or is it the low point? I can't tell. But thanks to everyone who came tonight, and I hope you guys enjoyed your Christmas, or at least if it was as pain-free as possible. Enjoy your New Year's. Do what I like to do: hide and wait for the fire to cool down. The Stone Soup Croutons poem will be up on Friday. More stuff will be on Oddball until probably 1 or 3 o'clock in that afternoon. And then it's a new year for everything. Good luck, everyone. This is where we do the obligatory wave now. So we can do a group snapshot and take it. So keep the hands up. And we're done. So thank you guys very much. Hopefully we'll have an announcement for Stone Soup next week.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy
Stay
holidays.
safe, safe.
See you all soon. Stay tuned for new announcements. The show's over.
I wouldn't
None of
do.
Omicron is here.
The show's over. See you next year.
Okay, ciao.
Take care.